In a world saturated with noise, distraction, and superficial validation, the quest for genuine respect often feels like navigating a labyrinth with no clear exit. We perform, we adapt, we seek approval, and yet the profound, unshakable respect we crave from others and, critically, from ourselves remains elusive. This yearning is not a modern affliction. It is a timeless human pursuit. 2 millennia ago, in the bustling heart of the Roman Empire, a school of philosophy known as Stoicism provided a roadmap not just for enduring life's hardships, but for cultivating an inner character so solid, so virtuous, that respect becomes its natural byproduct, not its desperate goal. The video, 7 Habits You Must Stop If You Want Respect, Stoicism, distills this ancient wisdom into a practical guide for the contemporary seeker, identifying the self-sabotaging behaviors that erode our standing and dignity. Stoicism, founded in the teachings of Zeno of Citium and later refined by luminaries like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, is fundamentally a philosophy of personal ethics. Its core principle is that while we cannot control the external events that befall us, we possess absolute control over our judgments, our values, and our actions. Happiness, eudaimonia, and a life of flourishing are found not in accumulating wealth or accolades, but in living in accordance with virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. From this virtuous foundation flows true respect. It is not something to be extracted from others through force or manipulation. It is the inevitable result of a character that is aligned, disciplined, and principled. The Stoic seeks to be a person worthy of respect, understanding that whether others grant it is outside their control, and thus irrelevant to their inner peace. The modern landscape, however, actively cultivates habits antithetical to the Stoic ideal. Social media rewards complaint and victimhood. A culture of instant gratification undermines discipline. The fear of missing out fuels envy and inauthenticity. We are subtly encouraged to seek external validation, to broadcast our struggles for sympathy, to compromise our values for acceptance, and to react emotionally to every slight. These behaviors, as the video outlines, are not just minor personality quirks. They are deep-seated habits that systematically dismantle our authority, integrity, and self-worth. They make us slaves to external opinion and prisoners of our own unchecked passions. This content serves as a powerful bridge between the contemplative silence of the Stoic texts and the noisy chaos of our daily lives. It translates philosophical axioms into actionable self-audits. By pinpointing 7 specific, common habits, such as excessive complaining, seeking approval, neglecting self-discipline, and fearing solitude, the framework provides a mirror. It asks us to confront the uncomfortable ways in which we, often unconsciously, trade our long-term dignity for short-term comfort or validation. Each habit represents a departure from the Stoic virtues, a leak in the vessel of our character that lets our self-respect slowly drain away. Therefore, the journey we are about to undertake across these 4 chapters is not merely about altering behaviors to change how others perceive us. It is a profound exercise in ascesis, the Stoic practice of discipline training. It is about examining the underpinnings of our actions, understanding the flawed judgments that lead to self-defeating habits, and systematically rebuilding our responses from a place of principle. By stopping these 7 habits, we are not performing a trick to win respect. We are engaging in the hard, sacred work of becoming someone who inherently commands it. We are moving from a life governed by external happenstance to one directed by internal will. As we proceed, remember the words of Epictetus: "No person is free who is not master of themselves." This is the essence of the path ahead, reclaiming mastery, habit by habit, to earn the only respect that truly lasts our own, and in its wake, the authentic respect of the world. Chapter 1: The Sabotage of Self-Pity and the Craving for External Validation, the foundation of a respectable character, in the Stoic view, is an unshakable inner citadel. Before one can project strength, justice, or wisdom to the outside world, One must first secure the interior walls against the most persistent and corrosive of invaders: self-pity and the insatiable hunger for external validation. These are the twin habits that systematically dismantle our sovereignty, making us reactive, needy, and perpetually off balance. The first part of our Stoic reformation, therefore, requires a ruthless examination and expulsion of these deeply ingrained patterns of thought and behavior. They represent a fundamental betrayal of the core Stoic tenet that our power lies solely in our reasoned choice, not in the events that befall us or the opinions others hold. The habit of excessive complaining and victimhood. To complain is to declare loudly and clearly that you are at the mercy of external forces. When you habitually lament your circumstances, your workload, your unfair treatment, or the state of the world, you are broadcasting a profound lack of agency. Stoicism draws a razor-sharp distinction between acknowledgement and complaint. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, faced invasions, plague, and betrayal, yet his private journal, Meditations, is not a list of grievances. It is a series of reminders to himself. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The Stoic practice here is to transform every potential complaint into a moment of objective assessment and purposeful action. Ask the Stoic question: what is within my control here? Your colleague's laziness? Not in your control. Your own diligence and how you choose to respond? Entirely in your control. The traffic jam? Not in your control. Your patience and how you use the unexpected time? Entirely in your control. Complaining focuses energy on the uncontrollable, wasting the very resource needed to improve your sphere of influence. It also drains respect, as others come to see you as a source of negativity rather than a source of solutions. The addiction to seeking approval and validation. If complaining is the abandonment of internal control, approval seeking is the voluntary handing over of that control to others. This habit makes your self-worth, your mood, and your decisions contingent on the ever-fluctuating opinions of those around you. Epictetus, born a slave, understood the tyranny of seeking favor. He taught, "It is impossible to begin to learn that which one thinks one already knows." When you are addicted to validation, you cannot learn who you truly are or what you truly value because you are constantly shape-shifting to fit perceived expectations. You post for likes, you agree for nods, you silence your true opinion for fear of discord. This creates a hollow, inauthentic persona. Respect cannot grow in such hollow ground. People may like the pleasing facade, but they do not respect it. Stoicism commands us to shift the tribunal. Your worth is not decided by the crowd, but by your own adherence to virtue. Seneca advises, "We are not given a short life, but we make it short. And we are not ill-supplied, but wasteful of it." Wasting your life living someone else's script is the ultimate folly. The practice is to perform a premeditation of evils. Imagine the worst-case scenario of disapproval. Speak your truth and face silence. Pursue your path and face criticism. The Stoic realizes that this disapproval, if it comes, is merely an external event. It cannot touch your virtue unless you let it. By internalizing your standards, you become unmanipulable and, paradoxically, far more respected for your integrity. The paralysis of over-explaining and justifying. Often born from the fear of disapproval is the compulsive habit of over-explaining. You say no to a request and immediately launch into a 5-minute justification about your schedule, your priorities, your prior commitments. You make a decision and feel compelled to provide a dossier of reasons to preempt any challenge. This habit screams insecurity. It suggests you do not trust your own judgments to be valid unless they are ratified by the understanding and agreement of others. A person who respects their own reasoning does not feel this compulsion. Their no is a complete sentence. Their decisions stand on their own merit. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In this context, the best defense of your choices is to not be like the person who needs constant defense. Stoic practice here involves embracing concise, clear communication, and bearing the temporary discomfort of silence that follows. Let your actions and your reasoned yes or no speak for themselves. This does not mean being rude or opaque, but it means understanding that you owe others information, but you rarely owe them your entire internal deliberative process. This economy of speech and confidence in action projects a formidable self-assurance. The neglect of physical and mental discipline, the foundation. While Stoicism is a philosophy of the mind, its founders were adamant that the mind does not operate in a vacuum. It is housed in a body, and neglecting that vessel is a form of self-disrespect that others will inevitably mirror. This is not about attaining a perfect physique, but about the discipline of maintenance. When you are chronically tired, poorly nourished, or physically lethargic, your willpower, focus, and emotional resilience are compromised. You become more susceptible to every other habit on this list, more likely to complain, to seek quick emotional validation, to avoid hard tasks. Seneca spoke frequently of treating the body rigorously so it may not be disobedient to the mind. The daily cold shower, the consistent exercise, the mindful diet, these are not vanity projects. They are the ascesis of self-mastery. They are small, daily votes for self-respect. Every time you choose the disciplined action over the indulgent one, you strengthen the muscle of your will. This tangible self-command is visible. It shows in your posture, your energy, your presence. People respect discipline because it is rare and it is hard. By mastering your own physical realm, you demonstrate the capacity to master other challenges, making you a person others instinctively view as capable and reliable. In conclusion, the first pillar of building Stoic respect is the reclamation of your internal sovereignty. By silencing the complaints that declare you a victim, by severing the puppet strings of others' approval, by trusting your judgments enough to stop over-justifying them, and by forging a disciplined vessel for your will, you begin to construct an inner citadel that is impervious to life's minor sieges. This is not an overnight transformation, but a daily practice. It begins with awareness, catching yourself in the act of these habits, and replacing them with the Stoic question: what is in my control? Your judgments, your actions, your values, your discipline. Focus your energy here, relentlessly. As you do, you will notice a shift. The anxious need for external validation will begin to quiet, replaced by a quiet, growing confidence. This is the soil in which true respect, starting with your own, finally begins to take root. You are no longer a subject of circumstance or opinion, but the ruler of your own domain. And from that position of strength, we can now address how you engage with the world beyond your walls. Chapter 2. The corrosion of inaction and the poison of social comparison. Having begun the critical work of fortifying your inner citadel against self-pity and external validation, the Stoic journey toward unwavering respect now turns outward to the arena of action and perception. A secure internal foundation is not meant for isolation. It is the stable ground from which virtuous engagement with the world becomes possible. Yet, two pervasive habits actively prevent this engagement, trapping you in a cycle of stagnation and bitterness, procrastination and inaction, and the toxic habit of envy and social comparison. Where the first chapter dealt with reclaiming control of your mind from internal and external narratives, this chapter focuses on reclaiming control of your time, your purpose, and your unique path. Respect is not granted to those who merely think well. It is earned by those who act with consistency and who possess the clarity to run their own race without being blinded by the dust of others. The habit of procrastination and avoiding difficult tasks. At its core, procrastination is a rebellion against nature's most precious and non-renewable resource: time. It is the active choice to trade the long-term integrity of your character for the short-term comfort of avoidance. The Stoics viewed time with a solemn, almost sacred urgency. Seneca's On the Shortness of Life is a profound treatise on this very habit. He argues we do not lack time, but are profligate with it, giving it away to trivialities and delay. You are living as if destined to live forever, he chides. Your own frailty never occurs to you. You don't notice how much time has already passed, but squander it as though you had a full and overflowing supply. When you procrastinate on a difficult duty, be it a challenging project, a crucial conversation, or a personal goal, you are not merely postponing a task. You are broadcasting a lack of self-command and disrespect for your own potential. You are saying your comfort in this moment is more valuable than your growth and contribution in the next. This erodes self-respect daily and is visible to others as unreliability or a lack of seriousness. The Stoic remedy is the practice of memento mori, remembering you must die. This is not a morbid fixation, but the ultimate clarifying lens. Viewing every day, even every hour, as a finite gift instantly sharpens priority. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Confronting a difficult task, ask the Stoic question: if this were my last day to act with courage and integrity, would I shrink from this? The discipline of action is a form of justice, giving each task its due. Break the task down. The Stoic focuses only on the first, small, actionable step within their control. By doing the thing you have resolved to do, simply because you have resolved to do it, you build the muscle of integrity. You become a person whose internal word, their intention, matches their external action. This congruence between belief and behavior is the very bedrock of a respectable character. Others learn they can depend on you because you have learned to depend on yourself. The poison of envy and constant social comparison. If procrastination is a sin against time, envy is a sin against your own destiny and the natural order. The habit of constantly measuring your progress, possessions, and status against others is a guaranteed recipe for misery and a profound waste of creative energy. It is the antithesis of the Stoic focus on the internal prohairesis, moral character. When you are envious, you are tacitly agreeing that your worth is determined by an external, comparative metric, someone else's career, relationship, or lifestyle. Epictetus was brutal on this point. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. Envy is a form of grieving for what is not yours, and in doing so, it blinds you to the gifts and duties of your own specific life. Stoicism offers a powerful reframe, the concept of following your own nature. A fig tree's purpose is to bear figs. A dog's to be loyal and alert. Your purpose is to live according to your human nature, to exercise reason, to act with social virtue, and to fulfill your unique role, persona, in the great web of society. Comparing your journey as a fig tree to an oak's is irrational. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself to waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Focus on being the best version of your role, the best co-worker, parent, artist, or citizen you can be, given your specific circumstances and talents. When you witness the success of another, the Stoic practice is to shift from envy to a more rational and generous response. Appreciation for a demonstration of what is possible or an opportunity to learn. Their success is an external, indifferent to your own path. Your mission is to tend your own garden with diligence. This focused, non-comparative dedication commands immense respect, as it shows a person who is not swayed by every trend or rival, but is steadfast on their own course. The trap of gossip and negative speech about others. Often, envy and insecurity manifest in a habit more socially corrosive than mere silent comparison. The habit of gossip and speaking negatively about others. This habit is a triple poison. First, it harms the listener by filling their mind with negativity and bias. Second, it inevitably harms your own character, as you become a source of toxicity and judgment. Third, it fundamentally violates the Stoic virtue of justice, which includes fairness and benevolence toward others. When you dissect someone's life or choices in their absence, you are engaging in a cowardly and unjust act. You are also revealing your own pettiness and lack of substantive purpose. Why are you discussing someone else's narrative instead of building your own? The Stoic standard for speech is famously stringent. Socrates' triple filter test. Is it true? Is it good? Is it useful? Is a practical tool? But more deeply, Stoics like Epictetus advised, if you wish to improve, be content to appear clueless or stupid in extraneous matters. Let others gossip. Your discipline is to speak only what is necessary, true, and kind. When tempted to join in, turn the conversation to ideas, to constructive plans, or to the positive aspects of the person being discussed. This is not naivety. It is a disciplined choice to uphold your own integrity and contribute to a healthier social environment. People quickly learn that you are a safe harbor, a person of discretion and principle. In a world awash with idle talk, the person who guards their tongue is seen as serious, trustworthy, and strong, worthy of deep respect. The fear of solitude and constant distraction. The final habit in this chapter is the modern epidemic that fuels all others. The pathological avoidance of being alone with your own thoughts. The fear of solitude, of true, unmediated silence drives the compulsive need for social media scrolling, constant entertainment, and noise. This habit is catastrophic for self-respect because it prevents the very introspection required to know yourself, audit your habits, and align with your principles. If you cannot bear your own company, what does that say about the person you are? Seneca wrote a beautiful letter on noise, but his deeper message was on the value of retreating into oneself. You must retreat into yourself as far as you can, he advised. It is in solitude that you converse with the sage within, that you review your day's actions, the Stoic practice of evening meditation, and that you plan your virtuous responses for the next. Stoicism prescribes regular, deliberate solitude as non-negotiable mental training. It is in these quiet moments that you can ask, am I living according to my values? Where did I compromise today? Where did I act with courage? This practice of self-dialogue strengthens your inner guide and weakens your dependence on external stimulation for identity or comfort. By becoming a companion to yourself, you become more centered, less needy, and more intentional in your interactions with others. The person who is comfortable in silence carries a palpable sense of wholeness and self-possession. They do not need to fill every space with noise or validation. This emotional and intellectual self-sufficiency is a powerful, quiet magnet for respect. In summary, Chapter 2 moves from securing the inner walls to actively patrolling and cultivating the territory of your life. By attacking procrastination with the urgency of mortality, by dissolving envy through dedicated focus on your own nature, by replacing gossip with disciplined speech, and by embracing solitude as a training ground, you shift from being a passive reactor to an active author of your days. You demonstrate that you respect your time, your path, your community, and your own mind enough to engage with them purposefully. This active, principled engagement is what the world sees and honors. Having established this disciplined and self-contained mode of being, we are now prepared to examine the final, subtle habits that govern our reactions to the inevitable challenges and conflicts of a social world. Chapter 3: The Surrender of Agency and the Betrayal of Boundaries. With an inner citadel secured and a disciplined, self-directed mode of living established, the Stoic now faces the most complex arena, the realm of interpersonal dynamics and inevitable conflict. Here, respect is not merely an internal state or a product of consistent action. It is tested and forged in the fire of social friction. Too critical, often unconscious, habits threaten to undo all previous progress at this juncture. The surrender of your agency through emotional reactivity and the betrayal of your own boundaries for the illusion of harmony. This chapter moves beyond self-mastery in isolation to the application of virtue in relation to others. It addresses the habits that cause us to hand over our power in moments of tension and to compromise our integrity for temporary peace, thereby eroding the very respect we seek to build. Stoicism provides not a strategy for domination, but a framework for unassailable dignity in every human interaction. The habit of emotional reactivity and taking things personally. Perhaps no habit is more destructive to immediate respect than the uncontrolled knee-jerk emotional reaction. When criticized, opposed, or simply inconvenienced, The instinct to flare with anger, deflate with shame, or retreat into sullenness is a wholesale surrender of your greatest power, your reasoned choice, prohairesis. Epictetus offers the foundational axiom: remember, it is not he who gives abuse or blows who affronts, but the view we take of these things as insulting. Therefore, when someone provokes you, be assured that it is your own opinion which is provoking you. To take things personally is to blindly accept that another person's words or actions have the power to define your internal state. This is the essence of slavery to externals. Your emotional thermostat is placed in someone else's hands. In that moment of reactive heat or cold, you communicate that you are not in command of yourself, and therefore cannot be entrusted with greater responsibility. The Stoic practice is the disciplined pause, the conscious insertion of a moment of space between stimulus and response. In that space, you deploy reason. First, apply the dichotomy of control. Is this insult, this criticism, this rude gesture within my control? No, it is the other person's action. What is within my control? My judgment of it and my response. Second, interrogate the judgment. Is this person acting from ignorance? From their own pain? From a flawed character? Marcus Aurelius consistently advised himself, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. I can neither be harmed by any of them, for no one can fix on me what is ugly, nor can I be angry with my kinsman or hate him. By depersonalizing the action, you drain it of its emotional poison. Your response can then be chosen from virtue, perhaps courage to address a real issue with calm, or justice to forgive a trivial slight, or temperance to simply walk away. This chosen response, born from principle rather than passion, is what commands profound respect. It shows you are governed by a higher law than mere impulse. The inability to say no and the disease to please. If reactivity is the loss of control in conflict, people-pleasing is the preemptive surrender of control to avoid conflict altogether. The habitual inability to say no to set and maintain clear boundaries is a slow-acting acid that dissolves self-respect and eventually the respect of others. When you consistently prioritize others' desires over your own values, time, and energy, you are engaging in a form of self-betrayal. You are voting, again and again, that your own needs and principles are less important than temporary approval. Seneca identified this clearly, for if you wish to be loved, love. But Stoic love is not servility. It is a mutual recognition of worth. A love that requires self-abandonment is not love, but fear. This habit creates resentment in you and contempt in others. People may like the convenience you provide, but they will not respect the doormat they wipe their feet on. Stoicism reframes the act of saying no as an essential duty of justice and self-preservation. Justice, because you have obligations to yourself as a rational being. You cannot fulfill your true duties to others if you are overburdened with their optional demands. Your primary role is to manage your own sphere well. Epictetus taught, if you wish to be a writer, write, but you cannot write if you say yes to every social summons. The practice is to treat your time and commitment as a sacred trust. Before agreeing to any request, pause. Ask, does this align with my core duties and values? Do I have the resource to give this properly, or will it dilute my existing commitments? If the answer is no, then a simple, respectful, and unapologetic refusal is the virtuous path. I cannot commit to that as I have other priorities, is a complete and respectable sentence. This clarity communicates that you value your own mission and judgment. It teaches others how to treat you with consideration. While some may initially balk, they will ultimately grant far more respect to the person with clear boundaries than to the perpetual yes person whose agreement is worthless. The craving for drama and unnecessary conflict. Paradoxically, the opposite of people-pleasing can also be a habit born from insecurity. the unconscious craving for drama and the creation of unnecessary conflict. This is not the righteous stance of principle, but the generation of turbulence for its own sake, to feel alive, to be the center of attention, or to avoid the quiet work of building a substantive life. This habit manifests in blowing small slights into major battles, in needing to have the last word, or in perpetuating us versus them narratives. It is the antithesis of the Stoic pursuit of tranquility, ataraxia, and social duty, oikeiosis. A life spent stirring pots is a life wasted, and it reveals a person who is bored with themselves and their purpose. The Stoic responds by constantly asking, is this necessary? Is this useful? Marcus Aurelius implored himself, the best way to avenge yourself is to not be like that. Engaging in petty conflict makes you like the petty provocateur. Instead, Stoicism teaches the discipline of selective ignorance. Not every battle deserves your energy. Not every provocation deserves a response. Often, the most powerful and respectful action is a calm refusal to engage in the drama triangle. Focus your energy on what you can build, create, and improve, rather than on what you can tear down or be right about. This does not mean being a pushover. It means choosing your battles with the strategic mind of a general defending a kingdom, not a brawler in a back alley. The person who remains unshaken by minor storms, who does not get drawn into every squabble, is seen as poised, powerful, and above the fray. This elevated perspective naturally attracts respect. The neglect of continuous learning and adaptation. Finally, a subtle but deeply corrosive habit is intellectual and moral stagnation, the belief that you have arrived and no longer need to question, learn, or adapt. This is the death of the Stoic project, which is a lifelong practice, ascesis. A closed mind is inherently disrespectful. It disrespects the vast, unknowable complexity of the world and the potential for your own growth. It leads to rigidity, dogma, and an inability to handle new challenges gracefully. When you stop learning, you become brittle, and brittle things break under pressure. Respect flows to those who are both principled and adaptable, who have a core that does not move, but a mind that is perpetually open. The Stoic is, by definition, a lifelong learner. Epictetus, who taught from a position of authority, began each day reminding himself, I am an ignorant man. Socrates, the philosophical grandfather of Stoicism, was declared the wisest because he knew nothing. The practice is one of humble curiosity. Read the classics, yes, but also engage with ideas that challenge you. After any interaction or failure, conduct a fearless review. What could I have done better? What did I assume that was false? This is not self-flagellation, but the rigorous honing of your judgment. Marcus Aurelius dedicated his life to ruling an empire, yet his private journal is a masterpiece of self-questioning and learning. By embodying the principle that wisdom is a pursuit, not a possession, you model growth mindset and intellectual humility. This makes you approachable, resilient, and perpetually relevant. People respect those who are always evolving, because they see in them the potential for greater contribution and understanding. In essence, Chapter 3 equips you to navigate the social world with the same mastery you have cultivated within. By replacing emotional reactivity with chosen response, by trading people-pleasing for principled boundaries, by eschewing drama for purposeful engagement, and by swapping stagnation for relentless learning, you transform from a passive participant in life's conflicts to an active architect of your social reality. You demonstrate that your peace, your time, and your growth are not negotiable commodities, but the foundations of a life lived with agency. This visible agency, the unmistakable sense that you are in command of yourself amidst the chaos, is what culminates in the final, unshakable form of respect. Having integrated these habits, we now turn to the synthesis, how living this integrated Stoic life not only earns respect, but transforms your very presence in the world. Chapter 4. The Synthesis of Character and the Emanation of Respect. The journey through the preceding chapters has been a systematic deconstruction, a stripping away of the habits that leak dignity and sabotage standing. We have moved from reclaiming internal sovereignty to exercising disciplined action to navigating social friction with agency. Now we arrive at the synthesis. This final chapter is not about stopping another set of discrete habits, but about understanding what fills the space when those habits are gone. It is about the integrated character that naturally, inevitably, emanates a form of respect that is magnetic, unforced, and profound. This is the point where Stoic practice ceases to be a series of exercises and becomes a way of being. The respect we sought is no longer an external target. It is the ambient radiation of a soul in alignment with virtue. Here, we explore the culminating state, how the consistent application of Stoic principles crafts a person whose very presence commands respect without demanding it. The cultivation of unshakable equanimity, apatheia. The void left by the expulsion of emotional reactivity, complaint, and drama-seeking is not emptiness. It is filled with a powerful steady force. Equanimity, apatheia, not apathy, but freedom from destructive passions. This is the Stoic superpower. It is the state of being undisturbed by the inevitable shocks and trivialities of life, not because you feel nothing, but because your judgments are aligned with reality. You see events for what they are, externals, indifference, and you respond from virtue. This equanimity is the bedrock of a formidable presence. When others are panicked, you are assessing. When others are grieving over spilt milk, you are already cleaning it up or moving on. This is not inhuman. It is supremely rational and reliable. This calm is not passive. It is the calm of the deep ocean, beneath surface storms, holding immense power. Marcus Aurelius described maintaining this inner citadel while performing the duties of an emperor. Be like the promontory against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it. Your equanimity becomes a stabilizing force for those around you. People are drawn to this stability in a chaotic world. They see in you a refuge of reason. This commands a deep, trust-based respect. You become the person others seek in a crisis, not for emotional pandering, but for clear-eyed counsel and steadfast action. Your value is no longer tied to the roller coaster of circumstance, but to your unwavering inner compass, and this is instantly recognizable and revered. The practice of proactive benevolence and justice. With your own house in order and your emotions mastered, Stoicism directs your energy outward in a powerful, purposeful flow. Active benevolence and justice. This is the antidote to the withdrawn, overly self-focused austerity that Stoicism is sometimes wrongly accused of promoting. The Stoic is a social creature, part of the cosmopolis world city. Your duty is to contribute. Having stopped seeking validation, you are now free to give genuine appreciation. Having stopped gossiping, you are now free to speak well of others and defend the absent. Having secured your boundaries, you now have the resource to help others from a place of abundance, not depletion. This shift from neediness to generosity is transformative. Your actions are now guided by the virtue of justice in its broadest sense, giving each person and each duty its due. As the Roman Stoic Heracles illustrated with his concentric circles, your task is to draw outsiders closer, to extend your concern rationally from self to family, to community, to humanity. This is respect in action. You respect others enough to be honest with them, to help them when you can, and to expect them to meet their own responsibilities. You are neither a savior nor a critic, but a fellow traveler offering a steady hand. This consistent, fair, and helpful engagement builds a reputation of immense integrity. People know you will act rightly, not because you seek a reward, but because it is your nature. As Epictetus said, what is the fruit of these teachings? Only the most beautiful and proper harvest of a truly educated person: tranquility, fearlessness, and freedom. This freedom allows you to be genuinely for others, and that selfless utility is a cornerstone of lasting respect. The embodiment of authentic, understated confidence. The insecurity that fueled approval-seeking, over-explaining, and envy has been replaced by a quiet, unshakable confidence. This is not the loud, boastful confidence of ego, which is often a mask for insecurity. It is the confidence of congruence, where your thoughts, words, and actions are aligned with a coherent set of virtues. You know who you are, what you stand for, and what you will not tolerate. There is no gap to hide, no facade to maintain. This authenticity is disarming and powerful. You don't need to announce your credentials or victories. Your demeanor and consistent results speak for you.